This has opened up an enormous revenue shortfall.
Alberta braces for hard times and cheap oil's hitting the federal budget too. Good evening, I'm Peter Mansbridge, and this is The National. As more money flees the oil patch, could Alberta be facing recession? The plunging loonie drives up prices.
It's almost anything you can think of, really.
So happy bottom line new year, but how happy is it really? With a lot of indicators either stalled or slipping, what's the best way to protect yourself? Tonight, we find out. There's new video from the Charlie Hebdo attack as France and Israel bury their dead. And he's the face of a class action suit over university hockey and sexual assault.
They basically accused us all and threw us all under the bus.
There are grim warnings tonight about what the tumbling price of oil means to Alberta and to Canada. There are fears Alberta is moving from boom to bust and that it might take the rest of Canada with it. It was an up and then down 2014 for oil. Its remarkable dive began in the summer and has not stopped. In just 3 months, Alberta has gone from a projected $1.5 billion surplus to a $500 million deficit. And now we're even hearing the R word. Some analysts say Alberta could slip into recession. Erin has that story.
Just as it has in the past, this is one of the places the dropping price of oil will be felt first in Alberta.
I probably spent 2 or 3 months sitting at home, but I mean, even then, it wasn't really a shortage of work, it was just a sudden change in the volume of work.
A struggling energy industry here means lower real estate prices. That means fewer new homes going up, fewer jobs too. And this real estate investor expects his Alberta properties to start dropping in value.
And so you're starting to see people trying to beat the market, get out of the market before they believe it's going to go down. So that means it's turning from a seller's market into a buyer's market.
And the Bank of Canada says oil's remarkable slide isn't over yet. Deputy Governor Timothy Lane says oil prices could go lower or remain low for a significant period. The Conference Board of Canada also has grim warnings about Alberta's economy, even using the word recession.
The lower prices go, the more you're going to see withdrawal of investment in the Alberta economy, therefore the odds of a recession are going up. So I think it's actually the most likely scenario now, that you actually get contraction of provincial output this year.
Because of the critical role that oil plays in the Canadian economy, there are some concerns about what that means for Canada as a whole, with some economists suggesting that it could wipe out the federal surplus.
Well, if they don't want to reduce spending or increase revenues, then it's going to be quite challenging for them to actually not run a deficit this fiscal year.
For its part, the federal government says low energy revenue won't stop it from balancing the budget this year. Not so for Alberta, where a year of sub-$50 oil will force the province to reconsider how it raises and spends cash.
Oil prices continue to slip. We haven't evidently seen the bottom yet. And this has opened up an enormous revenue shortfall in terms of the Alberta government's budget.
Alberta Premier Jim Prentice shrugs off the possibility of a recession, but admits the situation here is critical.
And we are living beyond our means, and in a sense, we are living on resource revenue that properly belongs to our children and our grandchildren.
And just how far beyond its means Alberta is living will in large part depend on how low the price of oil sinks and for how long. Erin Collins, CBC News, Calgary.